Hello, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Sorry about that. There was a minor technical difficulty in the background, aka my one of my chat bots decided to log itself out again. So so I had to re-enable it. So hopefully that'll be working. Let me just pop an egg in the chat just to make sure. Yep, a sunfish can still release up to 300 million eggs when it spawns. This is important information. There will be a quiz later. Anyways, how's everyone doing? Welcome on in. Hello, hello, hello. Q2's, hi. Hi, you're pretty cool. Okay, bye, says Q2's. Hi. Lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Thank you for the hydrate. I will take a sippy of my tea. One of my teas. Oh my god, that's good. That's delicious. Thank you. Anyways, boop to you too, Joe, and hello, Sen, and Joe, thank you very much for the lurk, and Turnip, thank you very much for the lurk as well, and hello, everyone, welcome in. How's it going? It's wonderful to be back. Hello. God, I'm tired. Woof. Anyways, yeah, my lungs aren't working very well at the moment, and it's making me, a tired little, antlered having forest sprite, so hello. I'm wondering if I need to make a new PNG tuber for the spring. If I should do something that feels a little, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it vernal? Is that the spring? I think it is. Anyways, I might need to do a somewhat more. Because I've also got my standard, which was literally I did because that's what I was wearing that day because I was a sexy pirate for Halloween like a year and a half ago. And then I just kept it because I feel like that's just my vibe anyways. But this was specifically sort of a wintry version of myself. So do I need to do like a vernal like spring version as well? Cuz I might do. Anyways. I hope everyone is well. I hope you are having the goodest of good times. I had a nice time today. I kind of set myself a goal of doing more, just not necessarily like, finished art pieces, but just doing like more practicey stuff. I'd like to keep doing as many finished art pieces as I generally do, but more practicey, just sort of like crappy things that go in your sketchbook that aren't for anyone else to look at, but are just for you to like, practice. The kind of thing that artists probably should / want to do, but sometimes gets squeezed out because this bear is tired and time is money. So if I can't share it, there have been times when I'm like, I need to prioritize things that are actually gonna give me the satisfaction of creating a completed work that I can then share with the world, rather than like, just scribbles for my general betterment. And I know I should be doing those scribbles for my general betterment. And actually, here's the thing. It doesn't take too long. It doesn't take that long at all to just do some scribbles for your general betterment, it turns out. Those don't actually take a super long time. But I don't do them very often. But today was the first day that I actually sat down, and there is a website called Quick Poses, which is very useful. It's free, and you can just set it to like show you like a slideshow of randomly generated, not generated, but like just random photos of like pose reference photos, and that's super useful if you just want to do like super fast, I'm just gonna try and recreate this pose by drawing it, which is really the best way to get better at the weirder poses, which I hate. I hate the weirder poses. No, that's not true. I love the weirder poses, but I feel like the weirder poses are hard and it's easy to be bad at them. So, in the name of trying to make them be less hard and be better at them, I'm trying to, like actually sort of flex those muscles a little bit more frequently, just by going through like 12, sort of like randomly assigned photos from the Quick Poses website, and then trying to recreate them. the fun is if you now they have like nude life drawing photos, and they also have clothed poses, and the fun thing about some of the clothed poses is that they're very much like genre specific costumes. Like there was one that I got that was like, it was a lady in a fishnet body stocking and a gas mask holding some kind of like prop gun. It was very silly, but I'm sure this is very specific to some subgenre of like a post-apocalypse. It was very funny. The other one that I got that was very fun was a lady in like, you know, one of those like spirit Halloween pirate costumes, kneeling on like on one knee in a shopping trolley with a pirate flag sticking out the back. It was like, I just felt like, did they this feels uniquely tailored to me specifically. What's going on here? Anyways, so that was really fun. And I got a whole bunch of really bad, super bad, like, tiny scribbles out of it. They are in a notebook that is not in this room, so I can't show you. But just to give you an idea of the kind of thing that they look like in terms of, you know, size, shape, and completeness. Here's a thumbnail of a drawing that I did recently. About that size and about that level of quality. And I spend about a minute on each of them. And it's really fun, and it's a useful thing if you are interested in drawing people. It's a useful thing to do, or people-shaped creatures as well, obviously. Anyways, I mean, my first thumbnails do not look that different, says Sen. Absolutely. I mean, it's useful. It's very useful, I think, to thumbnail stuff out, to figure out, is this the composition that I want? Launching into something like this and then realizing, oh, I should have put the bookshelf here, and you've already drawn the whole thing, is a massive pain in the backside, because then you have to go and fix a whole bunch of stuff. Whereas if you just do a little sketch that takes like a minute, that looks like crap, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot online anyways. There's a lot of like, you know, I've ranted about this before, this idea that like your sketchbook is your portfolio, basically. People do sketchbook tours and like everything in their sketchbook is so aesthetic and colorful and beautiful and just literally finished landscape paintings and stuff. And I'm not saying that it's bad to do that. That's like good and fun also, but I think it's disingenuous to suggest that that's what a sketchbook is for. It's not a mini portfolio. It's for you to like practice stuff in, and sometimes that stuff is going to be butt ugly and, you know, not for public consumption. And that's important, you know. A sketchbook that has like just a page of hands or whatever. Or just like trying to figure out how like a specific character's like face works in profile or something like that. Or trying to figure out, what do you mean that's what a front-facing Robin looks like? You know what I mean? Anyways. Since I slept the whole day again, snoozing my alarm every 10 minutes, but otherwise I'm good getting pancakes in a bit. Well, I hope you enjoy your breakfast. That sounds like a wonderful day. I love that for you. I did it a lot during art school. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh god, if you go back... No, I did not go to post-secondary for art, but if you go back to, like, old sketchbooks from when I was, like, student-aged, woof. Anyways, since it's my sketchbook sketches and I have to learn that's fine, is practice, not everything will be superb immediately. Absolutely. That's what the sketchbook is for. To get, you know, the practice out so you can then go do the thing that's better. That's why we sketchbook. To, you know, to learn to do the things, to teach ourselves to do the things, to get better at doing the things in a safe, private space that we don't feel compelled to put on our Instagrams and stuff. Anyways. Hey!
Oh hell yeah, Sledge Callier just subscribed. Something almost a year.
Oh my darling, 58 months. Thank you so much for the sub. I love you so much. I love you with my whole heart. You absolute human treasure. I love you. I love you. Thank you for the sub. And also, hello, my darling. I hope you're home soon. For anyone who doesn't know, that's my moderator / spouse. Anyways, Cursed Arrow Bees, hello. Bees says, see, drawing is why I do abstract art and landscapes without buildings. That is so valid. And I hate buses when it rains. Oh no, is it humid and full of people? I'm so sorry. And slower. I hope you're okay. But anyways, I am trying to get better at landscapes. I don't know if I'm good at landscapes, but I keep doing some of them anyways, but I keep putting little people in them because I can't not put little people in places. But anyways, that's really, really cool. I do enjoy a good landscape. I do. And abstract stuff. I think you can tell by the specificity of this, I don't do a lot of abstract stuff. But I admire the brain that it takes to do it. And do it well as well. I'm terrified of putting little people in my art. Well, Bees, I will, just for you, I'll put twice as many little people in mine so you don't have to. That's how the economy of art works, right? I don't think it is, but my brain is broken. Anywho, nearly home, speak soon, babe, says Sludge. I love you so much, my dearest. Hope you have a safe trip of the rest of the way home. Anyways, all the little people, says Zen. I love doing the little people. It's so fun. It's a fun thing to do. I want to paint, I really, really desperately, super badly want to paint another tube station. But the annoying thing is, I've had a specific tube station in mind that I want to paint, and I haven't had a chance to get there. And it's been months. And I can't just be flexible and be like, oh, well, never mind, I'll just paint Chalk Farm, or Mornington Crescent, or Southwark, or another tube station that I've been to instead. I can't do that. Also, I want to make... I need to go to London and film some stupid B-roll, because I want to make a stupid short video about Waterloo East Station, and I don't want to spoil why, because then I don't have to make the video, because I've just told you what the video's about. But I learned something interesting about it, and so it prompted me to want to video it. Anyways, a tube station like a TV channel, says Bees. Oh no, I meant the London tube. London is not super far from where I live, so I like to go visit it from time to time. But it's been a wee while. I was gonna go on the break between Christmas and New Year's, but spouse and I were both just way too exhausted. Just way too exhausted to even contemplate like going beyond our neighborhood. I think we ended up just going to our neighborhood. Well, maybe we went to the center of town and then left the center of town because we were really tired. We might have gone as far as that, but that's about it. Which is not nearly as taxing a journey as taking the bus all the way to like an actual metropolis as opposed to the mid-sized city we live in. So anyways. Sen says, I like faces. I like faces too. I think they're nice. I like looking at them, I like drawing them, and I like seeing other people's drawings and paintings of them. Sen also likes drawing them. Case in point, my last piece, which is in the Discord in case anyone's missed it. I don't know if you've posted it anywhere else. If you have, I haven't seen, but it is in the Discord if anyone's curious. It's really beautiful. If anyone doesn't know, Sen is also an artist and does really stunning work, and you should appreciate it. Anyways. But at one point you stare at the face and reference and long face loses all meaning. Same goes for like so many things though. Like I used to have a job where I had to basically ring people up on the phone. Back in the days when we didn't just do all this stuff online, I had to ring people up over the phone, and I had like a sort of a spiel that I would have to give to them to notify them of something effectively. And I said the thing out loud so many times that occasionally it would reach a point where I'd done it enough times in a row that I would just like blank out as I was doing it, and then I would hang up the phone and I'd be like, I cannot remember what I just said. Like, it's more than likely that my brain just followed the, at this point, muscle memory automated pattern of, you know, like, hello, this is the Guelph Public Library calling with a message for Prabat. And An item that you've placed on hold has arrived, and we will hold it for 7 days. Thank you very much. I said something very similar to that so many times, over and over and over again, you know, over the period of like months and years of my life, that I just didn't, like, it stopped, the words stopped making sense to me. I'd hang up the phone and be like, I sure hope that's what I said, but for all I know, I just said, you know, like, hi, this is okay, bye. Because I don't remember doing it. Anyways, the older I get, the more I want to stay home, says Bees. I think it's that exhaustion. Yeah, the exhaustion is so real. I love traveling. I love visiting other places. My brain craves just seeing novel environments from time to time. I had to go into the center of town yesterday morning for a bit. And specifically, I was visiting a college that I had never been to before. And it was just such a nice, novel experience of existing in a place that I'd never, like, been to before. Unfortunately, I didn't really have time to, like, just wander around the quad and appreciate how, like, oh, it feels like I'm in, you know, someplace more magical than I know it actually is, because of all the beautiful, like, you know, like, super old buildings and, the Oxford colleges on the whole are just real freaking pretty. Like, they're so freaking pretty. And then you find yourself, like, working for Oxford University or whatever, and you're like, hell yeah, and you end up in, like, a super ugly concrete block of a building sometimes. It's very funny. I say this because I used to work for a department in, like a science department, and I was like, oh, this is going to be an exciting job. And then I learned that my day job was going to be in the, like, just the most eyesore of, like, a 1960s block. Just the most, and not even, like, nice brutalism as far as I'm concerned, because I do like a bit of nice brutalist architecture, but this is just fugly to me. The one good thing about that job, this was about a gazillion years ago. Like, the people were really nice. I liked the people; they were really nice. And also, I was close enough in that job to, like, the workshop that the whole area had that, like, metallic workshop smell. If you know that smell, you know, you know. And on my mother's side of the family, my family members ran a gear shop for years and years and years. So that smell is very nostalgic for me, and it was very comforting. Anyways, enough about that. Let me catch up with chat. Sen says, not on the socials yet. I should do that. To like fish for more votes for the oh yes, of course, because you entered this into, like, a competition for the Control game, right? Yeah, Control. I would really like a Control art book since it's no longer in print. Ooh! Ooh! Is there... Okay, I need to vote for you. I need to... Everyone vote for Sen. Get her that art book. Anyways, Roll, hello! Hello, is this a cozy place where we toad and we gnome and we gay? I'll sit right here, don't mind me. You are in the right place, Roll, and welcome on in. It's wonderful to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Bees says, I hope I get to be a ghost when I die and I can just roam the landscape staring at things. Oh, that'd be so nice. And also, if you could just, like, fly and be incorporeal as a ghost, it'd be a lot easier to travel to places that, like, don't have railway stations. Because I found out the location of this church that has this door that, like, trees have grown into in the entrance to this medieval church in a little town in the Cotswolds, which nominally is, again, I live in Oxfordshire, not that far from where I live. Unfortunately, I would have to take a combination, like, bus, train, and then another bus to get to it, so it would take me, like, at least 2 hours to get there, which is really annoying. But if you do have access to, like, easy transport in and around the Cotswolds, it's in Stow in the Wold, and it's, like, right in the center of the town. And it was reportedly, and this is very possible given his connection to Oxford and the air and the sort of area around in the Cotswolds and that kind of thing, inspiration for some bit of Lord of the Rings. But don't quote me on that. But that's what I've read. Anyways, yeah, super, super cool. I can see if I can find it. I can find a photo. This is very cool. Yeah, the new Control Resonant game. Also, Rex, thank you very much for the 5 stream steak. Thank you for the 5 steaks. I hope you enjoy your 5 steaks. That's rad as heck. Thank you so much. Welcome on in. I hope you are well. You have to join the Remedy Discord for... shoot. Shoot. I will probably not be joining the Discord because I'm probably not going to play the game. I'm sorry. Hello, Joe. Welcome in. I'm talking about... I don't remember the name of the church, but I think it's in Stowe. Let me just check. Okay, search knows what I'm looking for. St. Edward's Church. And it's just, it's real stinking cute. And I love it. And I'm bringing up a picture of it so you can see it in just a second. I'm vamping. But I found it on maps, and I found it on my Maps app. It's quite easy to find, at least. So, okay, here's my Instagram. Sorry, it directs to my Instagram first. But let me just skip that and... I love it so much. I just think it looks so cool. I want to go to here. There's just, I don't know, just the way the trees are sort of like melting into, like the building on either side of the door, I think is so cool. And it just looks like a nice place to, I don't know. I just can't justify spending like 2.5 hours each way to go to this town, and probably an inordinate amount of money to do so on buses and trains in order to go to this place. To take like 4 to 5 film photos of this church and a bad selfie on my phone, you know what I mean? Though I will be rocking up dressed as fantastically as possible. So people will also look at me funny when I go to the little cafe in the center of this charming little Cotswolds town. And it is very charming, from what I can see online. I have not been. There's a lot of charming little towns in that sort of general area. But yes. Magic. I want to go to there. But it's so far away from me. Well, that's the thing, it's not even that far away from me, but like, it's genuinely easier for me to go to like Bristol, which is further away from me than this. That's the fun of the public transit. Like, I am not going to disparage the British rail network. There are a lot of problems with it. There are a lot of like issues with the trains that I really wish would get sorted out. But with that being said, I'm so grateful that we have one. Because I come from a country where we do not. Or at least, like, we do, but it sucks. It sucks so bad. You know, my hometown is a mid-sized city of, I feel like at this point, probably about 150, 200,000 people, probably somewhere in that vicinity. That is, you know, not quite within spitting distance, but within like an hour to an hour and a half's distance of Toronto, which is like the biggest city in the country, in fact. So you would think that there would be a shed load of commuter trains running, you know, I don't know, maybe every 20 to 30 minutes between these two locations. And other relevant locations between. Are there? Are there though? Are there? Heck. There are vast swathes of the day between trains where, oh beans, you will be lucky if you get a bus that takes like an extra hour and a half. I hate it. I hate it. It's so bad and I hate it. I really, honestly, I hope it's better the next time that we're there. Also, as much as I like the main railway station in Toronto is Union Station. It is a big old railway station. Lots of the admittedly limited rail travel offerings go through there. There are more trains going to, other areas of the Greater Toronto Area on a fairly regular basis. And also other trains beyond going to, like, further destinations elsewhere in Canada. However, as much as, like, the concourses are lovely, the, like, waiting areas are lovely. They were done up a couple of years ago, and they're so much nicer than the sort of, like, cavernous and slightly scary situation that they had before then. But because of the way the station is set up, you have sort of the concourses and stuff are all above platform level, and the platforms are underneath you, and they are island platforms, and they are quite narrow, which means that in order to avoid situations where there might be, like, overcrowding, depending on if it's a very, very busy train, and a lot of these commuter trains are very, very busy trains, or more than one train is departing from, like, either side of the island platform at any given time, you don't want overcrowding in this narrow area where there's nothing on either side of you except train tracks to fall onto. So for safety reasons, they do not announce what platform your train is departing from until like minutes before the train is scheduled to depart. And personally, I find this incredibly stressful because you're all just sort of standing around waiting, and then at the very last second, everybody is racing to get down the stairs to get to the platform to get a seat on the train. I hate it. It's terrible. My moderator / spouse is home. I'll be back in just a second. Babe! Hi, sunshine. I'm complaining about Union Station and its extremely narrow island platforms. Yes, you have? Toronto.
Oh, Toronto.
Big railway station, Toronto.
Sorry, I thought you meant Winnipeg.
Oh, God, no. I don't remember what the train station... I remember the like, ticket hall level, but I don't actually remember the trains. I think it's fine. Hi, baby. Hello. How are you today?
Oh, fine.
I'm glad you're home. Can you give me a kiss? Mwah! I love you. I haven't started painting yet, but I should probably get back to this time. But can I have some more kiss? Mwah! Love you. Hello, I'm back. Anyways, but yeah, because of the and genuinely, like, the island between platforms, it's so narrow. It's way too narrow. I mean, having an island between platforms is not unusual, but it's so narrow. It sucks. Anyways. Because, I mean, I guess, like, Birmingham is not a dissimilar setup when I think about it, but the difference is that, like, the platforms are much wider, so it's not crowded in the same way. There's, like, a lot of space to kind of space out there, whereas there kind of just isn't anywhere that you stand on the platform at Union in Toronto, you're just going to be in the way. Or, why are you here? They haven't told us where the train is departing from yet. Yippee! Yeah, it sucks and I hate it. But anyways. I forget how I got onto this topic and I'm really sorry. Oh yeah, it was that super cool door that is absolutely gorgeous. If you are able to go to there, go look at that door. It looks really nice. I will... St. Edward's Church and stuff. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Just in case anyone's planning a trip. Go to there, take pictures, take a picture there and then send it to me. I promise not to be jealous. I'll just be happy for you. Anywho. I think I can continue on painting now. Oh no. I just realized something. I spent a long time formulating the exact color that I wanted to be like this sort of base layer of toad color for Craig here. And do I remember what I used to get this shade of sort of grayish, brownish green? Of course I don't. Oh no. I'm gonna have to improvise harder. Yay! Oh no! Because I need to do some shading, add some dimension to the toad, because toads can be quite complicated in their coloriness. I think. I love the fact that if I type toad into my phone's browser, it's like, do you mean toad in the hole? It's like, no, I don't. For anyone who doesn't know, toad in the hole is British food stuff that's making like sort of a pancake battery. What was that, love? He says, yes, please. Toad in the hole is a dish that's made by making a sort of like pancakey batter. It's kind of similar to like an oven pancake, if you've ever had one of those, where you make like an eggy batter with like eggs, milk, flour, and you whisk it up. And in this case, you have like a baking pan, and in the baking pan you have put some neutral oil of some kind, and then into the neutral oil of some kind you've got some sausages cooking, and you put your sausages in the pan, and then when it's like super ripping hot and the sausages are fairly cooked, you pour this batter on the top, and you continue cooking it until it's all delicious, and the batter like puffs up and goes crispy on the edges and sort of soft and a little bit custardy on the inside, and it's kind of like a giant Yorkshire pudding with sausages inside it. And if that sounds delicious, yes, it is. It's very comforting. I like doing it with like veggie sausages and I guess gluten-free flour now, but it's the kind of dish that gluten-free flour is going to work perfectly in my experience. Like eggy pancake batter, I think works really well as a gluten-free. And I say this because I literally just made polachinta like a couple days ago, and it slapped, y'all. It slapped. Just made them with. They take forever to cook. The pancakes, anything like that, where I'm like standing on the hob, like pan frying batter or whatever. It takes absolutely bloody forever to make an entire batch of them, in my experience. But man, they're so good. They're so good. It's so worth it. Anyways, I had them with raspberry jam, and it slapped. Stop! You're making me hungry, says Joe. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Those pancakes get made soon enough. Oh, that's right. Of course, Sen is having pancakes. I love that for you. That's so exciting. Anywho, what was my point? I'm sure I had one. Ah, shoot. Okay. I'm gonna wazz up some additional toad color, and then we're gonna attempt to do, because this isn't the end of Craig's color story. If that is a term that exists, I don't know. I've actually just taken some black, so it's going to be kind of a brownish gray that we're gonna use. And sometimes I notice that just sort of like the underside of the chin is, never mind. I've just seen a terrible drawing time. I've got a terrible drawing time request. I have to stop. I'm going to clean my brush so that it doesn't get all ruined with paint. And I'm going to come back to that because I've just seen a terrible drawing time request, and I need to do that first. Hello. Sledge wants to see a Dracula parrot. That's adorable. Okay, I can do that. For anyone who's not familiar with the concept of terrible drawing time, it is a phenomenon that happens on this stream where for 5,000 channel points I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept if you're choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas, which is here. So far we have Wolverine, from memory. I think I did an okay job. And also down here we have Craig the Toad Wizard, who you might recognize from this painting right here, watching Terry the Forg Mage doing a cartwheel. And he's absolutely thinking, I could do that, I just choose not to. Anyways, is it just me or is the streamer very quiet? Oh, please don't tell me that, sweetheart. Don't tell me that, sweetheart. I haven't changed any of the settings. Have I just been quiet for like months? Unless somebody knocked against like the gain on the actual like physical mic itself. But I don't know. How loud is your Twitch page? Sen says it's okay. I do apologize if quiet. It may just be me, no worries. Okay, hopefully it's okay. Oh no, but thank you for letting me know. Ooh, Senses, I really should pick up tapioca starch at some point to try the Brazilian cheese. Oh, pão de queijo. I haven't had it, but I've seen it like made in a couple of recipe videos, and it looks so good. It looks so good. I would like to eat that super bad. I don't think I have tapioca starch in my pantry. I think I've got potato starch, superfine rice flour, buckwheat flour, and other gluten-free baking assistants like xanthan gum, hydroxypropylmethylcellulose. I think that's it, and psyllium husk. Anyways, please draw what you think is a vampire parrot, and then you can look at what it really looks like. Wait, is this a real like species of parrot? Because that's not what I was gonna draw. But let me pull up my Dracula parrot. Yes, of course. An important distinction, because of course not all vampires are Draculas, but all Draculas are vampires. That's an important thing to distinguish. Anyways, I am pulling up my, where is it? Where's my clock? God, I'm so tired. Okay, I've got 5 minutes on the clock starting right now. Let's go. But no, it's a Dracula parrot. That's so super valid. Okay, I'm going to attempt to draw over in this quadrant here, I think, a Dracula parrot. Let's go. So, first of all, we've got a parrot's head, and then parrots have like this kind of beak, which is very cute of them. And a big old fang on it, because obviously there's going to be a big old fang on it. Okay. I'm hoping that this will Parochula. Yes, this is Parochula. 100%, absolutely. It's gonna have like a big like sort of collared cloaky type deal on as well. Which absolutely also flaps in the wind. I have not given myself enough space for like a full parrot's body, so you'll forgive me that its body is very stumpy. And I wasn't specifically drawing like a stumpy parrot variety, but never mind. It's got its little claw feet. And it's perched on a little branch, like so, but it's definitely got its little thingy, its little cloak cape situation. Oh, this is so silly. I cannot wait to find out what an actual Dracula parrot looks like with the knowledge that I have now that this is a real thing that exists in real life. Let me get some feathery texture on there, some little feathery doots on its tummy. And I should probably color in this cloak, because this will want to be like a black velvet cloak that's lined in red kind of situation, obviously. You'll have to imagine the redness, because I don't have coloring in things for this canvas on me at the moment. Okay. I realize I've got time left on the timer, but I feel like this gets across the idea of a Dracula parrot. I hope you like. That was really fun. I hope you like it. But unlike Toads, this is stumpy and terrible, not stumpy and ugly. Oh my god, yes, what did it say? It said that, like, I was reading from, like, the Woodland Trust or something last stream, the difference between frogs and toads, which is basically just vibes, like, scientifically speaking, but they described, like, toads as being shorter and dumpier, or, like, short and squat and dumpy or something like that, and I was just like, that feels so mean. That feels so mean. This is stumpy and terrible, says Rex. Thank you, I think. Anyways, I'm just gonna copy Sledge's link to this parrot, and I will pull up a picture. Joseph, hello. Welcome in. You are not an idiot. B, this is, hold on, let me focus up. Focus, please. This is what I think a Dracula parrot would look like based on that description, but apparently it is something else. So, we'll just find out. Let me get... Oh! They're cute! They're really, really cute. Oh my god, they're cute, but also, like, oh, they're so, oh my god, they're so good. Okay, I've just found a picture that I think I want to specifically bring up as well, just because, oh my god, these birds are so good. I'm gonna need to actually paint these birds at some point. Captain wants to suck your blood. Thank you, Rex. That's amazing. Bees says, you could call a big old booty a dumpy and then it's less negative. Toads have a generous dumpy to twerk with. Hell yeah, they do. They've got cute little butts, in fact. Hello, Leaky. Welcome on in. Welcome. Hello. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. This is, when I heard the descriptor Dracula parrot, this is what I thought of. But an actual Dracula parrot looks like these bad boys. Hello? How did I do? Both on accuracy and vibes, I don't know. But these birds are stunning. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely beautiful. I love them so much. I need you to see this picture. Oh my god. Is it not giving, like a cartoonish level villainous vibes here? Absolute villain vibes here. Like, oh, biddle boy. That burb is evil. Yes, 100%. It's like a parrot cosplaying as a pigeon. That's a vulture parrot, says Joseph. Oh, I love this bird. I love this bird very much. Sledge, my dearest, my darling. I don't know if I captured the vibe, but I hope you're happy. And thank you. Well, I'm gonna have to at some point actually paint those birds because, oh my goodness, they are so cool. Very, aw, thank you, my dear. Thank you. Okay, let me bring back my painty paints. And we're gonna actually paint now. Yippee. Also, I've just noticed that my pencil, which is getting distressingly small, is also a bit dull. So I'm just sharpening it down here. Just giving it a little Sharpie do. Okay, alright, we're ready for the next sketch. With a slightly better pencil. Cool. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble about trains earlier. I appreciate it. And whatever the hell else I've been talking about, I don't remember. But anyways. Okay, I'm just watering down the bit of paint that I've got because I need to do some shading on our Craig here, because you see in a lot of Toadly types that their sort of the underside of their chin is often a little bit of a lighter, softer hue than the rest of their skin. You know, like their sort of under tummy. So I wanted to kind of try to do that here. If I can. There we go. And then on top of this, we'll be able to add some texture, some bumps, some spots, that kind of thing, to make him feel extra toadly. I want to say toady, but toady is like a word, is like a noun that means like a type of person. Um, and Craig the Toad Wizard is not a toady at all. Dan, hello! Hello, hello, welcome in. Shaving on Craig? I hope not. Here he is, hello. I mean, he's a toad, so he doesn't really grow hair as far as I'm aware. Shading. Shading, yes, thank you. Shading. Thank you, Leaky. That makes way more sense. Though I also might have misspoken because I'm a tired creature. Anywho, this is Craig, the Toad Wizard. My little friend. My small friend. Apparently younger people think that, like, I don't know, what I would describe as potentially, like, Tumblr speak is cringe. Using terms like small and that kind of thing. And here's my defense of using supposedly cringe terms. Like, if I refer to a dog as a doggo, or if I refer to someone or something as small rather than small, there is a semantic difference between doggo and dog. And in terms of usage, at least for me personally, or as I've learned it, and small and small, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I always sort of, in my brain, SMOL is pronounced very similar to, like, the A with a little circle accent over it in languages like Nordic languages like Swedish, which is like an O sound. So it's not small, it's small, because that's the way it's spelled. Anyways, but there is a quality imparted to describing something as small as opposed to small. I feel like small is a much more, like, neutral descriptor of size, whereas small implies something about the thing that is small. It usually probably something to do with its sort of, like, cuteness, preciousness, that kind of thing. You know, like Craig Small, and you know something more about Craig than just his size, right? You're just saying small and estuary English off, flip. Anyways, but also doggo, I tend to use, I don't actually use doggo that often, but if I do use doggo, there's a very good chance that I'm speaking to a dog. Or I'm not just speaking sort of neutrally about the existence of dogs. I may be specifically pointing out to the person that I am with out in the wild that there is a really cute dog over there. I want you to look at that dog because you will be as delighted by this dog as I am. My moderator / spouse and I regularly point out dogs to each other when we're in the neighborhood. Because we like seeing dogs, because dogs are wonderful. And they're cute. Anyways, but yeah, or pupper. Yeah, absolutely. Pupper for, like, a puppy dog that's got the pupper energy, which again is specific. It has a specificity to it in terms of, I would say, like, its usage that is not identical to puppy or dog, which are, again, just sort of fairly neutral category of animal. Whereas doggo is like, who's a good doggo? You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you know, like that kind of situation. And I do think that there's space in the language to have these distinctive terminologies. Does my large son have connotations beyond size? I'm thinking about it, and I think it very possibly might. Yes. I do think so, yes. Also that's a wonderful phrase. But yeah, so, like, also glass houses, because I think that a lot of things that people who were born after I was born say and do, it's like, you're not cool. I don't think that, you know, categorically, like, the whatever the young people demographic group size is cool. As the popular culture of, like, I don't know, teens and, like, university student aged people, I don't think is cool. I don't think it's appropriate for me to think it's cool. I'm over 40. I have over 40 aged person interests, like TV that I remember watching for the first time 30 years ago, looking at birds. Um, what are my interests? Dress history. I don't think there's an age limit on any of that stuff, to be fair. But, and another thing, says Dan, oh, geez, okay, I know it's not what you're quoting, but that reminds me, I've been meaning to, like, just go watch, like, every Columbo mystery for quite some time. I've got a hankering for Columbo, and he does that thing at the end of, when he's just finished talking to the person that he's definitely about to pin, like, the crime, the murder, whatever, on, and he's like, okay, thank you very much, you know, and then he's like, just one more thing, and then he and then you know he's got it. He's done it. He did the thing. You can like birds and the numbers 6 through 7. I had to look up what that meant, and I do appreciate the fact that it doesn't mean anything. It's just saying a thing for fun. You know what? I like that. That's fine. Go for it. Have you seen the new Matlock with Kathy Bates? Bees, I didn't even know it existed. I am so freaking out of the loop. That sounds very exciting. Also, we're going to have an ad break in about 30 seconds, so I will see you on the flip side of that. But in the meantime, pin the crimes on. You make it sound like he's the murderer and he's framing everyone. No, that's Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. Columbo is a precious small bean and has never done anything wrong in his life. Anyways. Also, if memory serves, his wife is Captain Janeway. I'm gonna BRB though, so that's a fun thing for you to think on in the meantime. Please have a nice break, have a drink, have a stretch, do all that good stuff. Take your meds if you need to. I'll be back very shortly. BRB. Okay, friends, I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. Hello again. Hi, everybody. Thank you for waiting. And thank you for sticking around through the ads. If you did, I really do appreciate it. I can't make ads not happen. I'm not exactly making the monies off of them either, but it is a necessary evil of existing on a website that I am able to broadcast for free, and you are able to watch me broadcast for free. Is that we get ads occasionally. At least we can control when they happen, so you don't miss any of the content, such as it is. Anyways. But, yes. What was I saying? I forget. I had to take an extra moment before unmuting after the ad break ended, because I have been eating a carrot snack. Rex!
Artrex Gaming cheered. X1. Allow me to double your ad revenue.
Oh my goodness, you just doubled my ad revenue. Thank you for the 1 bit. I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. That's very sweet. But yes, I have been enjoying a carrot snack. And I did not want you to hear me crunching carrots on stream because, I don't know, personally, I do not enjoy the sounds of people eating food, and I feel like that's not an uncommon complaint. So, goodness knows I don't wish to inflict that upon my viewers, you know what I mean? That just makes sense to me, but, where was I? Oh, I forget. There was one time I was doing like a TTRPG over a video call with some people, and there was this one player who I have not socialized with before or since. So, and I shall not name them, because I also don't remember what their name is, and I wouldn't do that anyways because it's rude. But we took a little break, sort of like mid session to This was over like a Zoom or Discord or something like that. We took a little break sort of mid-session to go get some snacks and stretch. And basically what we just did on the ad break, except there were no ads because it was just like 5 of us and, like a video call. And this person comes back and has got some foodstuffs of some kind and just leaves the mic on the entire time while they're eating, I don't know, a bowl of spaghetti or something. Hi, babe. No, because we've got salsa for that, but that's already been made. So if you want to eat as many tomatoes as you want, my dearest. Okay, good. I love you. Enjoy the vitamins and whatever else is in tomatoes. Deliciousness. Deliciousness should be a vitamin. Anyways, I would be so much more well-nourished if deliciousness counted as a vitamin. Oh my god. But anyways, yeah, this person, otherwise super, super nice. And again, apologies if they're, like, lurking in here. But they probably don't remember. Yeah, oh boy. Oh boy, did I not enjoy having to hear at full volume and, like, just ASMR level, like, munch, crunch, slurp, chew, 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 swallow. We're just sitting there, you know, like our adventuring party is in, I don't know, like a forest trying to do some stealth or something, and just hearing like crunch, 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 munch, munch, chew, chew, chew for like 10 minutes. Oh god, it was awful. Can I just say as a general piece of advice, if you're playing like, you know, like an RPG or something with your friends or any kind of like tabletop game situation and you're on a video call, and you need to eat a snack, not on like a scheduled break where everyone's like left their computers, please mute. Please mute. Please. Anyways, so now it's moderator Salsa Spouse. Oh yeah, we're having a little a fancy little number tomorrow night that I like to call burrito salad. Because why? Because it's all the stuff that would go inside a burrito, except it's just a salad. So I take a nice big bed of crunchy lettuce. I think I've got some cos lettuce. Because it's the lettuce that they had. They were not very well stocked when we went to the supermarket yesterday. I think they were due for a restock at that point. Very annoying. But never mind. So I got some cos lettuce, and I'm going to have a nice big bed of lettuce. And then on top of that goes some, you know, sort of like Mexican red rice situation with like a tomatoey rice. And then on top of that is going to go the refried beans, which I'm very excited for. I've been looking for got like half of a thing of refried beans that have been in the freezer for like 3 months, and finally I've got a use for them. Huzzah! I like refried beans a lot. They're delicious. And then on top of the refried beans goes some sour cream and guac and pico de gallo salsa-y situation, and then on top of that goes a little sprinkle of shredded cheese, and it's really delightful. It's so good. I love it so much. And honestly, it's easier serving it this way than it would be trying to wrap it all up in a tortilla, which I feel like I don't need to do when I'm at home. And also, honestly, some of the gluten-free tortillas, not awesome and crazy expensive. Like, just stupid expensive. There's one that I'm looking at trying because I had a voucher for it for my local supermarket, and wouldn't you know it, they don't have it in that shop. I don't think they even sell them in that location. Why are you giving me a voucher for this that I can't use? Like, why? Anyways, the vouchers section of my supermarket loyalty card app honestly feel like a microaggression. There's wraps that you might be interested in making burritos with, but you can't because we don't carry them in your local shop. And dried porcini mushrooms that I'm allergic to. Could I maybe have a voucher for something that I actually buy regularly, like a jug of milk, or like, you know, the bread that I buy? Anyways. Very frustrating. Anyways, people didn't learn to mute when every social event was online, so it's never happening, says Leaky. Oh god. The thing is, then there are the people who learned to mute and then don't learn to unmute, and you just see them, like, moving their mouths for, like, 30 seconds, and everyone has to shout, you know, like, Neville, you're muted! And this guy has like 4 D-fills. And you know, he's a professor of oncology, and you're like, surely you must know how to work Zoom. Anyways. Bees says, my grocery store app just keeps trying to give me artificially sweetened energy drinks. Bleh. Oh, I completely agree. That's nasty. I do not. The only thing that has sweetener in it that I find remotely tolerable is Lucozade Sport, specifically in the lemon, lime, and orange flavors. And that's because it's a blend of sugar and sweetener. Anything else, no. I would rather just have it unsweetened. I was so happy to find... Okay, this is gonna sound wild if you know how much of like a dedicated coffee person enjoyer that I am. But if I know I'm going to be out of the house all day and I'm not going to necessarily be able to just swing by a cafe and get like an actual espresso-based drink that someone has just made for me, I will sometimes get those like, you know, supermarket cafe lattes that come in a little like Tetra Pak or whatever kind of thing. And just have one of those as my coffee for most of the day. But I do find that most of them are like I do like a sweetened coffee. I do, but most of them I find just so cloying. Like, it is not pleasant to me because they're so sugary. And I say this as someone who has a ravenous sweet tooth, that these things are too sweet for me. And you know, I have found one at one supermarket that is Cafe Latte Zero. And when they say Cafe Latte Zero, they don't mean like Coke Zero where it has like 2 different kinds of artificial sweetener in it, unlike the skinny latte, which has sucralose, which I hate the taste of. This is just milk with coffee. And that's it. And is it a good cup of coffee? It's a good cup of milk that tastes nominally of a little bit of coffee, but it doesn't need it. Like that's all it needs. It is a perfectly cromulent beverage, and I'm so happy that I found it. It's very expensive at regular price, but it was half price at the supermarket last night, so I bought 2. And I'm just so happy I found it, because I would much rather drink that than something that A, has like a blood sugar damaging level of sugar in it, which I don't want to do on the regular. Or if I do want to do that, I want it to be under my control in a situation where it's something I'm actually enjoying, as opposed to something that's more or less a functional beverage for me. Like, I need to hydrate and I like to have a cup of coffee in the day. This is a good choice for me, that kind of thing. As opposed to, this is something I want to drink because it is genuinely really delicious. But man, it is so adequate in a really good way. And I'm so happy I found it, because it's either, other than that, it's either like way more sugar than it would ever need for me. Someone who will happily take like a filter coffee, and has done this, like a tablespoon of sugar in a filter coffee. I would be happy with that. Which a lot of people would be like, ew, that's disgusting. I'm like, no, that's fine. It's sweeter than that. What the heck? Or artificial sweeteners, which, oh no, that's not what I meant to. No, I was trying to scroll up on chat. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I found one that just doesn't have any sugar in it, and I'm absolutely elated. And I just know because I found a product I like, that it's gonna be discontinued, because that's what happens to me every time. Or they'll be like, new and improved flavor, and it turns out that they added like sucralose and Ace K to it. I hope lots of people buy this, so it demonstrates that the people want this. Anyways, Leaky says, those taco kits that exclaim just add 500 grams of beef. Do you think I'm made of money? Oh my god. Listen, Leaky, I do not buy meat on the regular because we don't eat meat at home, but every time we've like looked at getting like, you know, just a pork chop or something because my my moderator / spouse is having a craving, we would be so much poorer if we regularly ate meat, because it's so expensive. It is genuinely much better value to get like a thing of tofu than it is to get like the 2 of us servings of like pork generally. Like, damn. I always kind of assumed it was the inverse because, like, meat is the standard. But there we are. Anyways. Robusta, long life milk, and too much sugar. Yum, says Leaky. Yeah, exactly. It's like, this isn't gonna be good, but it's gonna be... Hopefully it'll be functional. It's time to mute any... I hate diet sugar, says Bees. Yeah, I know that it's, like, useful for a lot of people, and a lot of people genuinely, supposedly, find it taste at least as good as, like, actual, like, sugar-containing sweeteners, like sugar or maple syrup or honey or whatever. It just is not to me. It just is not. It just cloying. The last time I had a tiny, teeny weeny, like, little baby sip of my moderator / spouse's Pepsi Max cherry. Oh my goodness! It was so sweet! I can't do it! And again, I say this as someone who has just done shots of, like, maple syrup. Anyways, Curse Starfy says, new and improved. You have to pick one. It can't be both new and improved. Yeah, no, Oh man, when something is like your safe food or your safe ingredient, like the thing that you know that is going to be good and comforting for you, or like the thing that you have at this specific time of day every day, and they change the recipe, and it is new, but it is not improved. That is such a stressful experience. I hate it. I hate it. New and improved chocolate. Wait, you wanted oil instead of cocoa, right? Oh, Leaky, that sounds disgusting. That actually reminds me of something that I kind of fell down a rabbit hole of yesterday. Bean says, a lot of people allegedly enjoy microfiber bedding too, but I don't know them. Oh no! No, thank you. You know what I like my bedding to be made of? Cotton. I guess I'm just basic like that. I like a nice bit of cotton bedding. I have linen, pillowcases as well. Those are nice. But no, microfiber, no, thank you. That sounds horrifying. But yeah, no, the oil instead of cocoa from the new and improved chocolate reminds me. I fell down a rabbit hole yesterday, and this is something that I was aware of, but I haven't thought of in years. British people will know. I don't know if there's an equivalent to this in other countries. Elmley. You know Elmley? Let me tell you about Elmley after I've taken a sip of... Also, that is such a hard name to say, it turns out. It trips off the tongue when I'm reading it in my head, but actually speaking it out loud, it really... struggles. I'm gonna hydrate. This is salted caramel Lebkuchen tea, which is so nice. Really delicious. Anyways, Elmley. Elmley, says Leaky. Yes, Elmley. AKA the dairy product. And I say dairy product in big quotes because the first time, not long after I moved to this country, and I needed some cream for something. I think maybe I was just having strawberries and cream, or maybe it was my birthday and I was making myself a little strawberry cake. Anyways, I needed cream for some reason. And I picked up a potto. Elmley is an interesting ingredient. Food stuff. It's in the same section with cream, which in general here in the UK is separated into single cream, double cream, which is the richest one, and then whipping cream, which is just a little shy of double cream in terms of its richness. But single and double are the most popular cream categories. Single is more of a pouring cream, and double you can kind of whip it up and it's thicker and richer. So you can get single Elmley and double Elmley, and so I thought, oh, okay, so these are creams as well. So I got one of the sort of pottos of Elmley. And it wasn't until I got home that I actually looked at the ingredients list and I realized it's not real cream. It's not real cream. Why does this exist? It is a blend of buttermilk and vegetable fats. Is very much not the same thing as cream. It, I assume, is made to perform the same function as cream, but also functionally, I don't think the price is that different between it and just regular dairy cream, so it's not like it's the super cheap alternative. And it's also not the plant-based alternative, though there is a plant-based version of Elmley now, I believe, but there wasn't when I first moved here, like 12 years ago. So yeah, I'm a little bit like question marks about how and why this thing exists. And a lot of people, I think, but I saw a theory that someone had is that the sales of Elmley are like almost exclusively based upon like first time purchasers who know that they have to buy cream for something, pick it up because it says that it's either single or double, therefore it must be cream, right? For like maybe a recipe, or they've got some strawberries or whatever, and so they're gonna get some cream, and they pick up the Elmley and think that's cream, right? And then they take it home and they're like, wait a second, why is the ingredients list buttermilk and like vegetable oils? What's going on here? Why is there an ingredients list? I thought the ingredients list for cream was just cream, right? Anyways, that's a whole other kettle of regional fish, which I will delve into in a YouTube video very soon. But anyways, apparently it lasts twice as long as actual cream. This seems to be the only argument for it. I guess that's an argument for it, Leaky, yeah. But wow. I just think it's an interesting thing, and I think it's an interesting thing that that I think so many people buy it just assuming that it is cream, and then find out that it's not. I'm gonna pop a link to my YouTube in the chat because I do have one. I'm sorry there haven't been any videos in the last while. It's been a weird many months, but I'm hoping to start posting there again very soon. Anyways, I keep wanting to film. Also, see Camp Coffee, says Leaky. Yeah, I think Camp Coffee contains like a very small amount of coffee, but I will say that we always have Camp Coffee in the house, my moderator / Bouse and I, but in a similar way to like instant coffee or those little like pre-made cuppies of latte that you can buy from the supermarché, and just have an iced coffee on the go. I drink it not because I want a cup of coffee. I drink it because I want a Camp Coffee. And also I will sometimes add like a spoonful of it to a banana smoothie, and that's really delicious. But I actually really like Camp Coffee. I love the taste of Camp Coffee. I think it's very comfy and cozy. But it's the kind of thing I will stir it into just like a glass of oat milk or soy milk or whatever, in the same way that you would use like, you know, chocolate milk powder or chocolate syrup even. And just drink it like that. I don't think I wouldn't make it as though it were a cup of coffee, certainly. But Camp Coffee derives from the olden days where it was, I think coffee was hard to come by, and so coffee substitutes came into being. You know, it was hard to come by, and or it was expensive. And so a lot of coffee substitutes came into being and became reasonably popular, like roasted chicory, which is the base for quite a bit of the Camp Coffee experience. And also, I think there are certain places in New Orleans where they still sort of blend chicory with coffee, so it's a very distinctive flavor, because, you know, that's sort of like the traditional recipe of that region, probably because it was more cost effective. It's coffee plus chicory, says Leaky. I assume World War II rationing, perhaps. Yeah, that would be my guess as well. Though also I know that coffee substitutes have existed for longer than that in various regions. Because people like coffee, and sometimes it's hard to get there. Like but there's other ones as well, like acorn coffee is a thing, like roasting acorns. Oh yeah, apparently all acorns are edible. I learned that today. So that's really cool. Or like all varieties of acorn are edible. I knew that you could like grind acorns down and use them like a nut flour kind of thing to bake. But yeah, all varieties of acorn are edible, but you do have to look out for, are the acorns that you're foraging like good, because, you know, sometimes they'll have like bad spots, or possibly like a bug has eaten parts of them, that kind of thing. You don't want those. But like if you get good acorns, you can cook with those. It's neat. Anyways, Camp Coffee was created in 1885, so I was wrong. Ah, I see. Yeah, I did think that it predated World War II, but definitely I think there was probably some coffee substitution happening around World War II as well, because lots of things were rationed back then. And rationing lasted for quite a while in this country, in the UK as well. Certainly more so, I think, than it ever really did in my home country. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes. The other interesting thing, this comes back to something that that Leafy mentioned earlier in the chat as well, is the label for a bottle of Camp Coffee, and I will pull one up in the... I will bring up an image of a label of Camp Coffee, because there is an interesting history of the labeling as well, which is unsurprising considering the nation that we live in. But this is what Camp Coffee looks like, more or less. This is, you know, it's now, it used to be a glass bottle. It's a plastic sort of squeezy bottle now. But it has this little image of like a British, I think, well, he's in a kilt, so I'm assuming a little Scottish like military fellow and his colleague sitting down and enjoying a cup of coffee together. And I suppose the interesting thing to note in this case is that given what his colleague is wearing, I have to assume that his colleague is based on when we're coming from with this labeling and that kind of thing, probably from a part of India, which, as you know, was a part of the British Empire situation for quite a long time. But the original label for Camp Coffee didn't have the two of them sitting down to enjoy a cup of coffee together as colleagues. They had the Indian fellow standing up and serving a cup of coffee to the white guy. And understandably, and like frankly bare minimum good for them, at some point they were like, maybe this could be construed as just a little bit insensitive, just a smidgen racist, maybe a little bit, doesn't look great. Anyways, so they redesigned the label so that the two fellows are sitting down and having a cup of coffee and they're just friends. Or are they? Because somebody, and I don't know where I saw this, but somebody photoshopped the label such that it said extremely camp, and the one fellow was sitting in the other fellow's lap. And they were drinking a cup of coffee together. And I personally, I think they should make that canon. Anyways. Camp Coffee sounds like somewhere the president would be taken in times of crisis, says Dan. Oh my gosh. Can we take him there right away? Yes, please. As unproblematic as the rice brand formerly known as Uncle Ben's, which is now Ben's Original. Yep. Because weirdly, that I'm surprised at how long it took for Uncle Ben and also Aunt Jemima, if you're not familiar with Aunt Jemima, made like pancake mix and pancake syrup and that kind of thing as a brand. And she started out, there was, sort of like with Uncle Ben, there was a little image of her, this sort of very, motherly looking lady, but, she's wearing a little like kerchief on her head, and there's a lot of since she is like a black lady wearing like a kerchief on her hair, there's a lot of implication there that, there's some potentially unpaid servitude happening here on the part of Aunt Jemima, and I don't feel great about that, and neither should you. You should feel bad about that, and the people who did that kind of thing should be ashamed of themselves. Anyways, but the fact that this was just a piece of the marketing for gazillions of years, eventually they made her over into just sort of like a more modern looking sort of mom type lady with like modern hair and that kind of thing. But they decided eventually, just like Uncle Ben's, even though I don't believe they're owned by the same company, it's just coincidence, that they really ought to do away with this the implications of Aunt Jemima entirely, because it is the implications are not good, and the history is there even if you try and like sanitize it by making her look more sort of cozy and like she's being paid and she wants to be there instead of, you know, being an enslaved person. But they just fully changed the name of the company to the Pearl Milling Company just to fully get away from that, the unfortunate origins of the brand name entirely. And yeah, like, good. I am amazed that it persisted for as long as it did. Anyways, is Aunt Bessie still okay, says Dan. I believe she's a white British woman, so yeah, she's fine. Same with Betty Crocker. Dan says, Sammy, you'll have to drop this kind of rhetoric if you want to pass your immigration test. Oh, I've got great news. I already passed it. I took the test years ago. I don't have to do it again. Everything's fine. Leaky says, Camp Coffee? Why, yes. Leaky says, I imagine Aunt Jemima would sound like a muted trumpet a la Tom and Jerry Housekeeper. Perfect. Like the parents in Peanuts comics, which I always thought was so good. Dan says, it was only this decade that the Washington Commanders and Cleveland Guardians sports teams changed their names. And you know, I am, again, it's like, you have people, you know, sort of touting like, oh, but it's tradition, it's traditional, we can't do something differently. It's like, it doesn't. Nothing is going to change about your sports team except for the fact that its emblem is not going to be, like, incredibly racist. I don't actually know what the Cleveland Guardians is a replacement of. You don't have to say it, especially not if it's a slur. But I do remember that the Washington, I think it was the Washington, like, logo was just, like, a racist caricature of an indigenous person. And then, you know, it's like, when that's your mascot alongside, like, you know, other teams having mascots that are like a bird or a cat or a color, it's not good. It's not good. Don't do that. The parents in Cow and Chicken that were just legs. Yes, absolutely. I think Muppet Babies did something different, similar as well. There was like a nanny, and all you ever saw was like her from the knees down, because that's the eye line of a baby. I like those touches in oh no, I think my camera's borked, y'all. I'm sorry, because I've been hand gesturing and getting ready to paint again, and you are seeing a static image. So please bear with for just a second. We're gonna pop over the technical difficulties. Yay! I'll be back in just a second. Oh no. Hopefully it's reset the camera. Let's see. No, it's just gone. Oh shoot. Okay. I might need to actually do some futzing around on this. On this segment of it, you might see an Elgato logo for a second. Is my point. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, hello Elgato. Goodbye Elgato. We're popping back to the camera. Yay! Okay, I'm back. Wizard. Alright, we got there. I just had to change inputs, and then change back for it to work correctly. Chris Jarvis says, I grew up in a town in Oregon called Aloha. Interesting choice for Oregon, which I feel like is quite a distance from Hawaii, but fair enough. Also very cute. But, oh no, the high school had an indigenous Polynesian warrior for a mascot. Oh, we don't like that. We don't like that. That being said, I'm pretty sure the mascot of my secondary school, and I don't know how this happened, because, I mean, the secondary school was founded, like, you know, centuries before I was born. But the mascot of the secondary school that I went to was just like an angry Scottish man, which also feels bad. very, very strange. But yeah, no, I don't like that, bees. I don't like that at all. Leaky says, did I hear the Bubba Bomb sound a few seconds ago before you noticed Cam had frozen? Oh, you did hear the was it like a little doot-doot? So it like the USB disconnected maybe. Ah, shoot. I thought that disconnect sound was me, says Pigeon. Pigeon, I'm so sorry, that was me! Anyways, Bees says they're still the Warriors, but it appears that the mascot is now a wolf. Well, I mean, at least it's, like, local and relevant, so fair enough. Much less deeply uncool than, you know, like an indigenous stereotype, which we side-eye very hard. Don't, like, and just the fact that, like, people, places, and things have taken as long as they do, because they're like, oh, but we're attached to these, you know, local symbols. It's not racist to us. It's like, okay, but yeah, it is part of a larger conversation of things that are racist. Even if you personally don't consider yourself racist and like this thing, you've got to recognize that there's more to it than that, like, on a systemic level, and therefore, you know, we need to be fairly unilateral about, you know, sort of using, like, an indigenous person as, like, a caricature mascot is really uncool. Anyways, mascots should be animals or jobs, says Bees. I think that's a good choice. That being said, I will extend to certain concepts, because I'm pretty sure there are ones that are like the hurricane or something like that. And it's just like there is definitely some team somewhere in, like, one of the American major sports leagues that's just like a little storm cloud with angry eyes on it or something like that. And I think that's perfectly cute. I think that's delightful. That's not offensive. You know, it's just fun. Dan says, yeah, the mascots and logos are often a bigger issue than the names. Cleveland were just the Indians, but the awful Chief Wahoo? No, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's so super not okay. Oh my god. I can't imagine anyone in good conscience defending that. Jesus freaking Murphy. No, the local high school where I live now says Kurstar Bees are the paper makers, because there's a paper mill in the area. Now see, yeah, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. That's cute. Weather phenomena. There we go. Yes, exactly. Like meteorological states of existence. So what team are you playing for, Mr. Hockey Player? And Mr. Hockey Player can be like, I'm playing for I'm struggling to think of the name of, like, a place in America. The Schenectady Little Fluffy Clouds. There we go. Dan says my local football team is the Hatters. Oh, isn't that cute? That's adorable. And Tillamook, Oregon are the Cheesemakers. Of course. Of course. I've had little single-serve packets of that brand of cheddar as a portion of my in-flight snack flying out of the west coast of America before. I didn't realize it was named after a place. I assumed it was like a family name or something. That's really interesting. But it also makes sense that they're the cheesemaker, because it is a very big dairy company, I assume, out of that town or city. Leaky says it's only not problematic if the teams were named like the Wisconsin We Were Here First. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. This is all reminding me that the first time that I watched, it might have been the first time I actually watched the entire movie from beginning to end, but a few years ago for a podcast I listened to, I don't actually know whether this episode ever went up. I think it might be a lost episode. I don't remember, but we watched the film Peter Pan, for a podcast, and I was not prepared for how racist that movie was. Nothing could have prepared me for how racist that movie was. I had to be bleeped because my biggest assessment of the movie, of like the animated Disney film Peter Pan, was just, pardon my French, it was fuck this movie, because it was so racist. It was uncomfortable to watch. Just that this was just normalized in like popular entertainment for kids. Absolutely horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. And yeah, no, yikes. Anyways, Pigeon says, I don't really care for sports teams, but Brighton's team is known as the Seagulls, and I love that. Oh, that's cute. I like that a lot. Thank you for the hydrate, Q2s. I'm gonna have a sip of my mint tea. Anyways, should I attempt to paint another color or do some like shading or details or something? Because I can. Like, we don't have to, but I can. I think I might do that a little bit. I'm not gonna go for super dramatic shading because I feel like it looks like it's a fairly sort of gray day outside. Of Craig the Toad Wizard's cozy little stone cottage. Dan says, my Bournemouth team is the Cherries, which is sweet. It is literally sweet. And Swindon, hoarder of Sammy's deliveries, are the Robins. Is that because there's a big sorting office in Swindon? Because Robins are, you know, like the bringers of Christmas cards past? Because if that's true, that's adorable. But regardless, I mean, I love Robins, so that makes me hate Swindon just a tiny bit less. You'll be shocked to know, me, Oxford resident, our local football team is represented by an ox. You'd never have guessed. If it makes you happy, then let's say yes, says Dan. It really does make me happy, so let's say yes. Thank you. But yeah, our local football team is represented by an ox in a shocking twist of events. Surprising literally no one. It's right there in the name of the town. And indeed, if you don't know the etymology of the city of Oxford, it's because there was a ford where the oxen would cross the river. Hence, Oxford. That's what the name means. Anyways, Bristol Rovers are known as the Gas. I assume that means that they're getting their recommended daily requirements of fiber, which I'm really happy to hear. Enjoying plenty of baked beans on wholemeal toast and some brown rice for din-dins, perhaps. I don't know. We return to the painting part of the painting stream. I would dearly love to get. I mean, listen. Keep talking to me because I do sometimes feel a little bit sad when no one's talking to me. Though obviously you are more than welcome to lurk as well. But and I'm very happy for you to be here, whether or not you feel inclined to join the conversation. But with that being said, I do love talking to y'all. But I'm gonna paint a little bit if that's okay. Yeah, Oxford United's official nickname is just the U's, not the oxen. But they've got a cute little ox, a little ox boy that's there. Keep talking and Sammy gets distracted and doesn't explode, says Leaky. This is also true. Rotherham are the Millers. That's cute. Now let me see. First of all, here's a photo of a real life toad. Does this not look like the politest little guy you've ever seen in your life? I was looking up some reference toad textures for Craig. In addition, I wanted to look up Oxford United. The problem is, in doing this, I am teaching something bad to my search engine, because I genuinely get, if I'm just looking up, like, I want to find the Wikipedia entry for like a city or town or something in the UK, and sometimes anywhere in Europe, and I just put in, like, the city name. Like, I just wanted to get to, like, the Google Maps page for Liverpool. So I just put Liverpool in the top of my browser. And what does it give me? Just a gazillion results for Liverpool FC, which I could not care less about. I just want a map. I just want a map of the city where this football team is based. But I had to look up Oxford United so I could show you this cute little ox. Look at him. I don't know if he has a name. But just based on, like, the place where we are based, I feel like his name should be something like Tarquin or Gideon. Anyways. Wolverhampton Wanderers are the Wolves, and that's why my mom supports them all. Cardiff are the Bluebirds, that's super cute. Mansfield are the Stags, says, we're learning so much. Thank you, Dan. I remember I used to have a terrible time when I lived in Manchester, because Manchester has 2 big football teams. Trying to take the tram when there's a match on. Stuff of nightmares. Stuff of nightmares. It's like, I just want to go to Didsbury to buy a wedge of cheese. And we have to go past the football stadium, and just, like, 500,000 people get on the tram. Ugh! Nightmare. The Red Devils and the Citizens. Cool. Everton are the Toffee Men. I don't know why. I don't know either, but that's adorable. That's delightful. I love that. Why, like, oh my god, why is that so cute? I do appreciate when they're just like, it might be good to have, like, a sports designation sort of nickname for our team. That's something that sounds like, I feel like a lot of, like, American and, like, North American sports teams go for things that sound like, threatening, or maybe not threatening, but at least, like, imposing in some way. And then you get stuff like the Toffee Men, and that's just cute. That's just stinking cute. I like that a lot. Leaky says, I just had my own Mandela effect moment, where I had to check the VOD and realize that your antlered character's red nose had been missing all stream. That's right, I took off well, I realized that it's not Christmas anymore, so I wasn't sure whether or not I should have a red nose. Because at this point I'm no longer a red-nosed reindeer with this on. I'm just maybe a clown, but maybe that's appropriate. Maybe I'm just a clown. I don't know. Anyways. I don't know anymore. Anyways, oh yeah, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that next week, this time, on this very weekday, next week, is my streamiversary, my anniversary of starting to stream. And friendos, I need your input. If there's something stupid or silly or fun that you want to see me do for my anniversary, do let me know. I don't have anything super concrete planned yet, but I want to do something a little bit more special than just, like, a standard art stream. But again, I don't know what yet. So these things will be determined in due course. But I also don't want to do something that everyone's going to find so boring and uninteresting that just nobody shows up, because then I'll feel really sad. I don't feel like I should be streamiversarying alone, But, yeah, just something for me to chew on for the next week and try and figure out what to do. The one thing that I do know that we'll do is some giveaways. Because it's always a fun thing to do when there is an anniversary stream. Yeah, I've been streaming for, good lord, I think I started streaming in 2021, so it's been like 5 years I've been at this crazy lark. What am I doing with my life? I'm having a good time, that's what I'm doing. Crew are the railway men, which makes sense. I think because the club way back originated from a railworks company. Also, a lot of trains change at Crew. So many railway journeys seem to change at Crew. Though weirdly, I've never changed trains at Crew. Somehow managed to get away from it for my whole life. Wild, I know. But anyways. You need to play a very hard platformer with one hand and painting with the other, says Leaky. Oh my god, or a good idea. I would fail so hard at both of those. Oh my god. That's terrifying and horrifying. And terrifying and horrifying. Oh my god, Dan says all roads lead to Rome, but all rails lead to Crewe. Apparently so. Anyways. What was I gonna say? Really hoping I can get to London at some point in the near-ish future to take some reference photos of a tube station that I want to paint. So wish me luck with that. There's a couple that I think would be nice represented in painting. Collier's Wood, I think, is really, really cute. And it also has, I really hope it's still there, a pub across the street called the Charles Holden, which is, I feel like a fairly niche reference, but if you know, you know. I don't know if people enjoy my, like, tube station and that type of painting as much as I enjoy doing them. But I enjoy doing them, so I'm going to keep doing them. So there. I posted two sort of like year in review, like year end videos on my Instagram at the end of last year / the top of this year, specifically talking about what things that I did seemed to perform well / be popular. And I crunched a lot of data to find out this information. And what I concluded was that I could draw no conclusions from it because literally, like, nothing I do makes a difference in terms of whether or not people will like it. I have no way of predicting. There's nothing that I do that people seem to like more or the most than anything else. So, shrug, which is a great time. Leaky says, I bet there's a non-zero overlap between your streams and Jeff Marshall / Jago Hazard video watches. Well, considering that my moderator / spouse and I watch videos from both of those creators, there's at least one person who watches my streams sometimes who definitely also watches those channels because he lives in my house. Anyways, I do enjoy I do enjoy learning about that kind of stuff. So both of those YouTube channel video maker people I think are quite interesting. I like a lot of Jago Hazard goes into a lot of history of like stations and that kind of thing and railways, and it's neat. It's super neat. I love this stuff. Viewer / acquaintance. Me too, says Leaky. Viewer / acquaintance. Aww. Yay! Having interests in common with people you know and like is fun. Okay, I'm just watering down a bit of blue because I cannot see my pencil lines here, but I think it's somewhere like there. And somewhere like there, just the little sort of inside sleeve space that would be darkened down a bit compared with the surrounding area. So I want to try and make sure. Oh, I just realized that I never painted in the little clasp that Craig is wearing. That's holding his cloak in place. So I should probably paint that in as well. Once I finish just getting a little bit of shadow under the, just a tiny bit under where the cloak is hanging over his robes here. Maybe just a little under the book as well. Just darken that down a little bit. Okay. Okie dokie. Cool. I should color that in. Ah, shoot. Ah, heck. I'm gonna take a tiny brush, and I think that little clasp is gonna be made of gold. I think it'll be a little gold clasp because I think that'll be cute. And gold is a popular metal for things like brooches and clasps and stuff. So it stands to reason. So I'm just using yellow for that, which hopefully will have the vibe appropriately. It's just a little leaf-shaped clasp. because I think that's cute. Okay, cool. Yay, I fixed it. Yay, yippee. Okay, wizard. What's next? Okay, gonna need to do a little bit more shading of some of the other bits of, oh, I should probably also shade a little bit, like, the underside of Craig's, little wizard hat. Seems appropriate. And then we'll have ourselves a little break, if that's all right. Well, I can't stop the break. It's going to happen anyways. I love the logical jumps in Google's AI summary that Google's AI summary makes when I simply made a typo, says Leaky. Oh no. Oh no. Honestly, sometimes the summary is just, okay, you just copy pasted that from the first website result for whatever thing that you're, whatever thing you're searching, it just cribbed from the first website that came up in search results, and it's like, I could have just gone to the website for that. But thank you. And then sometimes it just makes up the most insane, stupid ass out of pocket crap. Anyways, Sammy Welsh, quotes Leaky, might refer to pardon my Welsh, but might refer to shumai, the Welsh word for hello. Okay, are you sure it is? No, I was looking for Sammy Kelsch's art shop. Aw, thank you. Also, this stream is brought to you by me. Here's a link to my shop in the chat if that is something you're into. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, there is a link in the description. I sure do appreciate your support if you can afford it, but don't feel under any obligation if you can't, or you just would prefer to allocate your disposable income elsewhere. I understand, and I'm happy you're here. Anywho, but, yeah, wow, what the heck? What the heck, Google? I hate the stupid AI summaries. They're everywhere, and a lot of them, like, most of them are just nonsense. Just nobody wants this, and it should go away. It's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time, and it's making everything worse. Anyways, it's time for an ad break, so, have a drink, have a stretch, take your meds. I'll be right back. You're not gonna miss anything. Have a good break, everybody. BRB. Hello, friends, I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. I just really didn't want you to hear me eating the rest of my carrot snack. Which, in case you're curious, was delicious. I do enjoy... I've been getting into snacks that I feel like I can only adequately describe as, like... They just feel like little kid snacks to me. I don't know why. Probably because they're the kind of snacks that would have been handed off to me when I was a little kid. Like, here, have some carrot. Or, like, taking a celery and then filling the, sort of... the curvy interior bit with almond butter. That feels like an afternoon snack for a 4-year-old to me, and I am loving it. Anywho, let me catch up with chat. I think I missed some chat. Okay, I bought everything. I bought one of everything in the ads now. Now I'm off to run around in shorts in the cold and possibly cry. I hope that nothing makes you cry, Dan, but I hope you have fun doing your sports. One more nickname I have to drop before I go, which I just remembered, which sounds too silly to be true. Hartlepool nicknamed the Monkey Hangers because they once hung a monkey there in the war, thinking he was an enemy spy. Wow. That's... How did the monkey get there? Like, what the heck? What happened here? What happened here? That's so weird. That is so weird, for real. That is so weird. I am baffled by this. Absolutely gosh dang baffled. That is frankly wacky and wild, and I'm a little baffled by that. That's, yeah. What the heck? A little shading under that little strap. I think that'll do. And then I will darken down sort of the interior of the cloak. We can just kind of see underneath the robe there. And I think that'll do it for the cloak probably. So that was nice and easy. And what else? Oh yes, get a little bit of shade on the little bookie. Just where his hands are. Like so. There. Okay, delightful. It just lends everything a little bit more dimension, and I think a little dimension sometimes is nice. So here we are. Okay. I need to add some more texture, I think, to Craig's little toad face. I need to catch my breath because my lungs have stopped working. I need to thank you all once again for hanging out with me today. Probably not going to go on too much longer because I'm going to have to go make soup. It has been brought to my attention that apparently there's Olympics this year, which makes sense because it's an even-numbered year, but what is time? What is time? The reason I found this out is that here's a quote from a news article about it, which says, International Ice Hockey Federation President Luc Tardif said during a news conference earlier in the week that although parts of the rink and arena might not be complete in time, the playing surface, practice facilities, and dressing rooms would be ready when the men's hockey tournament begins on February 11th. The women's tournament begins on February 5th. So I guess they might just be SOL. Who knows? So that's amazing. Anyway, someone commented and said, good thing no one's into hockey this year. Uh-oh. Anyways, Kakalakola, hello! Kakalakola says, I'll give you one better. Why is time? Oh, if I had an answer to that question, I feel like I would understand a lot of things in my life a lot better. The answer, as far as I'm aware, is just because... Just because have scientists scienced this out? I feel like philosophers have attempted to science this out, but they're not always very good at, you know, stringing together sentences that people with only undergraduate degrees can understand. But anyways, yeah. I'm gonna pull up some toad texture on my little rectangle that shows me pictures if I can. Once again, not toad in the hole, just toad. No matter how delicious it might be. Oh my goodness, these creatures, they're so majestic. Look at them. I love them so much. I also love that we learned that the difference between frogs and toads is vibes. I especially love, I don't know who took this photo, but oh my god. This is an amazing toad. I love them so much. They're so stinking cute. Also, the common toad's scientific name is Bufo Bufo, which, adorable, frankly. Love that. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna attempt to add some, like, toadly texture to... I don't want to overdo it with the texture because I don't want it to end up looking like distracting levels of texture-y. But I think that one of the things that's really important in differentiating a frog versus a toad is, again, it's vibes. Scientifically, it's entirely vibes, but toads are bumpy and frogs are smooth. So, there you go. Kakalakola says that people assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Where have I heard that before? Alright, I'm just gonna start with, like... Just... Oh no, they look like freckles. Oh no, it looks like freckles. And I say oh no to that because that's really cute. Oh. Y'all, he's got freckles. Oh no. That is, quite frankly, delightful to me. Even if no one else notices or cares for it, I love the fact that it looks like he's got little freckles. That is precious as heck. I think freckles are adorable. I don't have a lot of freckles personally. I have rosacea, that's what I've got. But I think freckles are very cute. So I'm gonna do just like a little spray of freckles across where his like toadly snoots would be. There we go. I'm keeping it relatively restrained because it's like any of these things you can futz and you can futz and you can futz and you can keep adding details forever and ever and ever until like the end of time. But really one of the important things as an artist is to know when it's time to stop futzing with something. And stop futzing there. That's totally adorable, says Kakalakola. Oh, thank you, my friend. That is a wonderful, lovely thing to say. Thank you so much. I'm gonna also get some little freckles on his little toady hands. And some little freckles on his little toady feet. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, cool. Cool. I think we've established the freckliness of our toad here. I'm happy with that. So I guess I could maybe try and do a little bit of line weighty stuff before we call it a stream. And so to that end, I'm going to pick up a little bit of brown and probably start with like our bookshelves and wooden accoutrement. I guess I should probably do some at least sort of like subtle bits in between all of the like stonework of the walls as well. That's going to take a while. I didn't necessarily think super hard through how long all of this was going to take me. I'm very intelligent. Oh no. Heck. Oh well, there is a bristle stuck to the end of this brush. I'm just going to get rid of it before it applies paint where paint doesn't want to be, makes a terrible mess, and is generally incorrect. Okay. Anyways, in case anyone's curious, and I'm sure you are, I'm having soup for dinner tonight. And just in case soup isn't quite enough for me, I've got some supplementary items I could have. I might have some crackers or a bit of toast. I had avocado toast for my lunch today for the first time in absolutely forever. And you know what? You want to know something about avocado toast? It turns out it's delicious, and I'd forgotten how good it was. It's just very nice. In case anyone's curious as to my avocado toast recipe, it's really quite simple. I make like lazy guacamole and put that on toast, and it's delish. So like avocado, obviously, ripe, mashed, salt, garlic powder. I specifically use garlic powder rather than raw garlic because sometimes I feel like raw garlic can be kind of overpowering as a flavor, and the garlic powder just hits correctly in this application for me. So salt, garlic powder, a little bit of lemon juice, and then like just a little splash of Cholula sauce. And then put it on 2 slices of toast. That's my avocado toast. It's really good. I don't know what... Oh, I know why I stopped making avocado toast. Because one time I bought what was supposed to be a perfectly ripe avocado, and I sliced it, and it felt like it was kind of, yielding a little bit when I pressed on like the skin before slicing it open. So I was like, okay, this marketed itself as a perfectly ripe avocado. I've had it in the house for a couple of days. I'm going to use it to make an avocado containing food, right? And then I did that, and it was rock solid, despite the fact that it felt like it was a little bit sort of like squishy, like squishing it with my hand from the outside. Once I cut into it, it was absolutely solid as a rock. And basically impossible to work with and super underripe, and it was so disappointing that I think it just put me off avocado for a long time. And the reason that I went and got avocado and made avocado toast is that until just now I forgot about that. Oh no. Well, I guess the good news is that today's avocado was nice and ripe, so it was just, it was once again just delicious. I'm actually having avocado again on Friday because I'm making burrito salad and there's going to be guac in that. So, yay. Avocado's good. I like it. Anyways. These are my bookshelves. I hope you like them. I shall be, I think, maybe finishing the wooden accoutrements and then toddling off because I've just seen the time and we're just coming up to the hour. Which is usually when I call it a stream or just thereafter. Unless I'm like super in the zone and I'm just like, just one more thing, and then one more thing leads to another more thing, and then I'm here for like another like hour. But I really don't want you to have to experience another you know, ad break. That was it. I don't want you to have to experience another ad break, so I'd like to be out of here before that would happen. Because otherwise I feel bad and sad. Because who wants to look at ads? I don't, and I don't want that for you either. But anyways. Speaking of things being a stream, I do have exciting news. If you like Silk Song, I'm playing it on stream tomorrow. That's not really exciting news at all. That's what I do. That's what I do at the moment every Friday morning, but I will be playing Silk Song tomorrow morning on stream, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm still racking my brains for what the heck to do for my, I think, 5th stream anniversary, which feels crazy to say that I've been here for that long. But yeah, man, that's exciting though. I'm looking forward to celebrating with y'all. I'm hoping to bring some joy and some fun and do something interesting. Maybe try and do something a little bit different. But again, I don't know what yet. I don't know. I feel like sometimes things do get chaotic here, but I think in general my content itself tends not towards the chaotic. So I don't really know. I don't really know what to do for it. Because I do want to do something that's a little bit more exciting than I'm just doing a regular painting, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Anyways. But that's a that. Okay. Alright. Let's do these little wooden shelves over here. And then I need to do the calyx. And then I think once we're done the calyx, I think we will call it. Because I have to go make soup. It is going to be a cauliflower and kale soup if memory serves. I quite fancied something like hearty with beans and stuff in it. So I might throw a handful of like frozen peas into the soup. Just to give it a little bit more substance. I'm eating this soup because it was available. And to be honest, I don't always have a lot of time after streams to cook an entire meal from scratch. These nights are usually the nights where I like warm something up, you know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be doing this evening. Is warming up some soup with cauliflower and kale. Anyways. Oh, the other thing that happened to me, speaking of toast, I had bought myself, you know, those like Northern European style rye breads that are like really dense, thin slices of very intensely rye bread. I love them so much. They are so good. And I got myself a loaf of that. It's best before like a week from now. Actually, no, it's best before more than a week from now. And I had to throw it away yesterday because one of the slices had gone very obviously off. And I'm so grumpy. Because I saw the best before end date and I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to, I'm not quite ready to eat this yet, but I want to grab it now. So I grabbed it then. And then it went off way before its best before date because I didn't think to drop it in the freezer because it's like, well, it's nowhere near its best before date, so I don't need to drop it in the freezer yet. I should have dropped it in the freezer because I had to throw it away because it went bad, and I'm so sad about that. And part of the reason I'm so sad about that is A, I hate wasting food, but also B, went back to the supermarket last night and they didn't have any. No! So now I'm gonna have to wait until goodness knows when to get some more of that good, like, Northern European super thick, super dense loaf. Which is so good. I love it so much. It's the kind of bread that you would, if you're familiar with like smørbrød, like the open face sandwiches from Denmark, that kind of thing. It's that kind of bread, which I adore. So sad. Anyway, so wish me luck finding that again sometime soon because I love it. Anyways, in the meantime, I think I'm going to call it a stream there. Honestly, it doesn't look like we got that much done, but we had a really fun time not doing it. So thank you so much for joining me on that funky little journey that we made this stream. I've had a really good time, and I hope that you have as well. I'm going to see who we can do a little raid on. Maybe someone that we have not raided in a little while. I don't know. I'll take a little look-see and see who is available at the moment, and we will go say our hellos. Okay, I think I know who we shall go say hi to, because I'm pretty sure it's been at least some weeks since we did. We're going to go say hi to Perrin, who is just absolutely lovely. A nice place to land, a good place to hang out, and just generally delightful. If I can get thank you. My Twitch always kind of tries to glitch out as soon as I hit the start raid button, but thankfully it seems to be working okay. So here is the raid call. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message or append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. It's all fine. But thank you so much in the meantime for hanging out with me today. I had a really, really fun time, and I hope that you did too. I will be back tomorrow morning playing some Silk songs, so hopefully see you, if not there, then sometime soon. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday and a wonderful rest of your week if I don't see you before the end of it. Take care, everyone. See you again soon. Good night, and good luck.